Hey everybody, welcome back to Raptor Therapy. And as you can see, today we're doing a project on the truck. And I got a trusty old jack that my dad gave me, and I got some jack stands laying around. I've got a bunch of tools and parts, and the hood is up. So what's going on? Well, we're doing a brake job. Stick with us. So what we've got here is a truck that has 87,000 miles on it. And as much as we want to start buying high performance parts and suspension upgrades, and, you know, 3-inch shocks and all that, the first things we have to do is take care of regular maintenance. The brakes on this truck are original and they're shot. I started hearing the metal on metal about a week ago, and I stopped driving it. So we're going to take this opportunity to do a mild upgrade on the truck while we're doing regular maintenance, right? This supposedly is going to save us some money, hopefully, because anything that has Raptor attached to it, is, to the name of it anyway, is colossally expensive. So we can only afford to do things once. So what we're going to do is install a PowerStop Z36 Brake Kit. And I have all the stuff, and we're going to change out our brake lines too. I'll talk more about that, but I was in a truck where a brake line failed once, and that's not a good day. So we're changing those, and we're also going to rebuild the parking brakes at the same time. So it's complete brake job, more or less. So let's get rolling. Alright, so these are our parts. You can see it's a pretty complete kit. We'll just start from, start from over here. We've got our impact and our metric size sockets, since that's what this truck is. Brand new .4 fluid. Bunch of brake cleaner because we don't want to be sucking up dust. And back there we got a little silicone, or that's actually a ceramic lubricant. And then we got some anti-seize. We're going to be needing that. There's our two new rear calipers. Sorry, these are the rear rotors, and this is the inner drum brake that I was telling you about. There's actually a drum brake that takes these shoes. It sits inside there, and that's your parking brake. And that's pretty ingenious, and I didn't even know that before I started figuring out this brake job here. So that's really cool. We're going to put all new parking brake hardware on there. We got that stuff from Ray Bestis. There's our new front calipers there, and these are the front rotors. And then I have high hopes for this little guy here. It's a brake bleeder, and we'll see how that works out. And then I got my pads, and these are our Crown custom brake lines, and there's a torque wrench that we're going to be needing. Alright, so here's what 87,000 mile brakes look like, everybody. And you can see all these lines, these grooves in here, and how deeply worn. You can easily, this is a thick wear line right there. In the old days they would turn these rotors to make them smooth again, but now we're just replacing the whole thing. So we've got the caliper itself sits inside this carrier. The caliper's held on by 2 bolts. There's one here and there's one down here. And we're gonna yank those out. We're replacing this whole thing. We're gonna drain all the fluid out of the system and replace it with .4 fluid. And one other thing you'll notice is that I use 2 jack stands because I don't want my truck hitting the ground at all, not for any reason. The brake line that we're gonna replace is this guy right here. This thing runs from the back of the caliper right here, and it comes up here through this steel clamp, and it runs up to this part right here, and then there's a bolt right here, this little fitting. We're gonna get in here, we're gonna replace this bad boy. Now I've been in a truck where the brake line failed, and believe me, when that happens, when this little rubber hose ruptures, you will definitely be the asshole driver on the road as far as everyone else is concerned. Yeah, you don't want that to fail. So now when I do brake jobs, those lines get replaced no matter what, and we're doing all of them on this truck. Okay, we've got our brake line unbolted from the back of the caliper here, and it's draining into this tub, and you can see it runs up there, and there's that little screw head right there on the bottom of it. And we checked that out, and come to find out that is a 13 millimeter. And what we've got to do is we're going to unscrew this, and then, I don't know, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but there's a clip right here. We got to pull that clip out, and then this thing will slide out. And we're going to replace the clip And then all we've got to do is screw this into our new brake line that we're going to put in there. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Here we go. Probably getting brake fluid on the ground as we speak. You want to be very careful. There's vacuum lines under here. These two lines are these are the IWEs actually. Don't screw these up. These are vacuum lines and they control your four-wheel drive. So be careful with tools and sharp objects and things underneath your truck. We're gonna clean this little fitting up and put some anti-seize on the outside of those screws, those threads right there. Don't want any weird stuff getting into our brake system at all. No funky chemicals. She's pretty loose now. There we go. There's that. So here's the old line I just took off the truck, and here's the replacement line that I got from my buddy Rick over at Freedom Motortsports. Good job, Rick. Love these lines. I love the color. The blue color gonna match up my truck real nice. Now we've got the new clamp that came with the kit, and the only thing I got to do is get this thing off of here without damaging it and just mount it onto the new clamp, and I can go bolt this up. And here's our new fitting right here as compared to the old fitting. We can mount this sucker right up and have our first brake line installed. Got our new brake line installed right here, and that clip down there, right there, I found it was easier to put it in from the rear, and I put some synthetic grease up in here actually to help me slide it in, and I had to grab it with a pair of channel locks, and you got to push on it pretty hard. That clip's pretty serious. Then I got her connected here. Our new clamp is on right here, and we've got our IWE lines hooked back up. We're going to replace these in a future video with some silicone ones. And we've got our sensor line here, and it's all snapped back into place on the clip. So really all we have to do is just tighten this up, and I put a little anti-seize on here since we're screwing into an aluminum part. And that will complete the brake line part of this install. Next up, we're going to be taking off the rotor and getting down to business. These old brakes were plumb shot. You can see the metal coming through right here. This is all shiny metal, real bad, and here's the ruts it tore in that rotor. These old brakes were plumb shot, and I had to beat the hell out of this thing with a engineer's hammer to get it off the truck. Remember, everybody, when in doubt, beat it out. Come on, you. Greatest tool ever invented. And this rotor's trashed, just like the other one. So we're gonna get down to business here and put together a new brake system. See, here is the parts that we're keeping. And so we're taking our brake fluid cleaner, brake cleaner here, and hose all this stuff down real good. We're gonna clean things up as much as we can. And we got our compressed air here. We're gonna kind of blow it off with. Oop, just ran out of air. Well, we're about dry. There we go. There we go. We're ready to reassemble. Things first, we're going to coat this stuff up with some anti-seize. Why? Well, we just saw why when we had to beat this thing with a hammer to get her off. So we're going to get our anti-seize all on here, and we're going to coat these bolts with anti-seize too. Why? Well, because I'm an old man and I like to do things the right way. That's why. So there we go. Now, let's go get our rotor and get ready to put that sucker on there. What the? Come on. There we go. Anything don't want to. There it is. There's one. So if you get it in the freaking slot. Yeah, if you get it in the slot, that really helps. That's a good thing, right? So here's our lube. We don't have to have a whole boatload of lube on there, but there does have to be some. I'm going to get it on there kind of nice and even. So we've got our new caliper right here. We'll go ahead and put a little lube on these bad boys. There we go. That should work for that. This caliper goes right here. Push that in. Push that guy in. Now that can sit right there. I'll take these two bolts and get me a little anti-seize on these bad boys. Just for good practice. So let's take and get our top one pinned. There she goes. That one's started. Bottom one started. Now these ones torque to 27 foot-pounds. So we've got our, whoops, wrong way. We've got this, and the top of these little slider pins right here is set to accept a wrench. So we'll just put a adjustable on there just to hold it while we snug them down. There we go. Rinse and repeat with this bottom one. Kind of get on in there, yeah, it's still got pretty good lubed up. There we go. Now we've got our, that was, what was that, 14? Yeah, that was 14 millimeters. Yep. So that's wrong wrench. We need to be set at 27 foot-pounds. Oops, wrong way. 27. Tighten up our torque wrench. This is a cheapie that I just got today because my old torque wrench wasn't really reading well, and I'm not sure if I like it. Oops. Gotta do it the old two-handed way here. There we go. So that's it. We are ready to rotate the tires, throw them back on there. Yeehaw. Brake bleeding. I know you're waiting on it. That's going to be the last thing we do. I'm going to get the two back tires done first, then we're going to reverse bleed this whole system all at once. And ooh, I almost forgot. I was almost a total bonehead. Ooh, you can't bleed the brakes with no brake line connected. So let's catch up to ourselves here. Last things last. I don't want this thing too close to that little bleeder screw. So I'm going to back this up, turn it that way. Now I'm going to retighten it. There we go. So that's it for right now. That's what we've got. I can probably put a little slack through there. There we are. Thanks for watching.